Welcome to Average Dude's Slow Pitch.
Yo, head over to Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Today we've got the all-new 2025 Juno MR3. I've talked about in the past, we did the same thing with the yellow MR1 when it dropped, but these bats from Juno are not meant to be BP'd, right? Like, that's why they make a BP bat, but people are asking, how does this thing perform with 52s, Pro Ms? So we're gonna keep the swings low. I'm gonna get probably 10-ish, 15 swings with 52s, and then another probably 10 to 20 with Pro Ms. And then, because there's been questions as well, I've got another MR3. This one's currently testing right at 260 from last year, MR3, that I will throw a handful of Pro Ms on. And then my current MR1 Gamer, which had, or just this past week at Tennessee, it tested at 255. After the tournament, got home yesterday, threw it on my tester. It's still at 250, so still a number where I'm not gonna put a bunch of swings, but again, 5 to 10 good ones on both of these, just so you can see the performance difference on the new 25 MR3. For those that aren't super familiar with Juno, UTH-50 is what you're gonna always see on the one pieces, so nice stiff handle, 12.5-inch barrel. The one I'm swinging today is a 25 with a ½ ounce. If I like this as much as I'm hoping I will look at gaming probably 26.5 in this one for me personally. And all their bats this year are using the same tech. So people have been asking, hey, how's one bat compared to the next? They all use the new Pan M35J. So just understand, when you grab a 25 Juno, whether it's the yellow MR1, pink MR1, this, backwoods, what they've released so far, obviously, there's some more coming down the chain, they will all have the Pan 35. So just find a barrel length you like. If you don't really care, you just want a Juno, just know they all have the same tech there, just looking at the handle differences. But either way, 81 degrees out right now. We'll go, like I said, a couple 52s with this one, and then with all four, 44, 375 USSSA balls. All right, starting with 52s, as I mentioned here on the MR3. Obviously, you didn't see it on video. I tested it just to see where it was at with my other ones before we did this, but this was starting right now right about 265, so just kind of something to keep in mind. But again, if you're gonna pick up a Juno, I would look into trying to find somebody who's got an extra of one of the BP bats. And if you can't find one, either A, try to find an older, cheaper Juno that's kind of the same specs, so weighting, barrel length, as your BP bat, or just find another model bat that's kind of in the same specs. But these things are not meant to be BP'd. So if you get tested and you want them to last, don't BP them. If you don't get tested, then you can kind of full send it. But if they break early, just know they're obviously not meant to be BP'd. But Juno, I got a chance to talk to Carucci, one of the owners over there at Tennessee, Millington. They will, at the end of this year, be releasing some more of the 2-piece BP bats, and they're looking into a 1-piece BP option. So just know those will be coming down the chain here in a few months. But 52s, 25.5. And again, for those that aren't aware, this is a 25-ounce bat, 0.5 end load, but when you scale it, they scale at whatever sticker weight plus end load, so it's 25.5 on the scale.
101 miles per hour.
Well, that's a nice little start.
99 miles per hour.
Yeah, so obviously as you can see, the ball is absolutely jumping off this. That stiffer handle really helps. I think with that kind of jump off of the 52s, it is a little bit of a softer feel, but that makes sense with it being a little bit of a lower compression bat. And again, Junos are designed to absolutely mash Pro M, so they're not gonna really be that same stiff kind of feedback with 52s we've seen in the past, but they will perform. So if you're somebody who has to use like league and stuff with 52s, but you wanna game this in the USSSA type of tournaments, it's still a good option because the 52s aren't gonna really lower your compression too much.
96 miles per hour.
This one just a little bit low. You can tell a little bit, but again, softer feel with the 52s.
94 miles
See what
per
kind of
hour.
carry we get. I think that was a sweet spot. Yep, still carries really well.
100 miles per hour.
Yep. All right, well, like I said, we're gonna keep the swings low. There's your 52s. Performs just fine with them. You're gonna get a little bit softer feel. So if you're somebody who, let's say, only swings 52s and you want a U-trip stamped bat, or you have to use U-trip stamped bat, and you want kind of that traditional good feedback, everything like that, probably not really the way to go there. Plus, with these being sold out, the resale market at times can be a little up there. Probably not what I would pay for if you're gonna stick with 52s. But if it's what you want, you're a stiff handle fan, still a really good option for them. Super forgiving. Lots of consistency there as well. But let's move over now to what you care about. Like I said, we're only gonna get about 10 to 15 Pro Ms here. Then I'll bring out last year's MR3 and my current MR1 Gamer just to kind of test the difference there.
105 miles per hour.
What?
97 miles per hour.
Okay, that's upper on the barrel. You get the feedback to know where you caught it. Again, forgiving though, still high 90s. Let's use some sweet spot now.
107 miles per hour.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
111 miles per hour.
And there was the sweet spot right there.
104 miles per hour.
Higher up on the barrel a little bit there and still getting that forgiveness that we want.
113 miles per hour.
Well, that might be the first time we caught the no kidding sweet spot. You can hear a slight sound change, and you're getting a couple webs, which I've noticed with like my MR1, the yellow ones. The first couple swings, don't get me wrong, they feel great, but you get a little bit of webbing, and that's when I feel like the fibers open up just enough that you're getting the performance you want. So that may have been the swing that did it for us. Handle.
104 miles per
Towards
hour.
the handle there. Yeah, wild forgiveness off of these. This is, there's a reason people like the Junos, reason I like the Junos, and only reason I'm considering making a change to MR3 is I like the stiffer handle feels. I've just been a little less consistent in the past with one pieces gaming wise, but I have a tournament or two coming up between military and BSC before the next conference event. So I figure a good time to try to really figure it out and see if this is what I want to use.
113 miles per hour.
The sound off the sweet spot is amazing.
104 miles per hour.
I don't know if that was perfect sweet spot, but it does not matter. That ball was piece, jumps off really well. Like I said, I mean, wouldn't expect anything less from the Junos at this point. Last year's were great, don't get me wrong, but this new tech to me feels just like a slight uptick. Oh my goodness.
102 miles per hour.
Yep, well into the parking lot. So there you have it. We got 10 52 swings on this one, 15 Pro Ms. We're gonna swap over now the 2024 MR3. Only difference here, we're swinging a 26.5 in this one, so just slightly heavier. And obviously this has the different composite that they used last year. I'm not sure what they called it. There's no sticker on here like they do this year. And then we'll go to the current gamer, my 25 MR1 that does have that Pan M35J.
101 miles per hour.
Yeah, well, there's Juno for you.
97 miles per hour.
Oh my goodness. Yep. Handle.
97 miles per hour.
Yeah, still forgiving. I do think last year's models, when you catch a little bit low with this one, last year MR1s, you do get a little bit more sting, not quite as forgiving. I do think the newer models are slightly more forgiving without having a drop off in performance, which is really nice.
102 miles per hour.
Oh my goodness. Well, way into the parking lot.
105 miles per hour.
All right, that's gonna do it again with the 2024. So again, you saw, I think performance-wise, they're right there with one another. Like I said, I slightly like the sound feel of the new tech just a little bit better. But again, they're sold out, right? I mean, really everything is besides senior bats right now on there. So if you have a chance to pick up last year's model MR3, I would do so. I wouldn't sit there and pay. I see some crazy price online, but me personally, I'm not paying over about $350, seeing as website price comes out to about $320 with shipping tax. So somebody charges you $350, it's really that plus shipping anyways. To me, that's a fine price point. But if you can find one of these for sub 300, right at 300, that still passes and you care about that over, let's say, a 350, 375, 2025 model, they're so darn close to performance, I would do that as well. But again, my slight preference is the 25. Both of them are great. Now, what we're gonna do, like I mentioned, and I'm trying to keep this thing from failing, seeing that's right at 250 right now, is 5 to 7-ish good swings, that's it. Just to see, probably try to lift just a couple on the line, call it good, and just see kind of what this MR1 feels like, sounds like in comparison to that MR3.
111 miles per hour. 109 miles per hour.
And that wasn't the sweet spot. Again, this one is a little bit more broken in, obviously, being that low below compression, and having a little bit, again, 43 is considered stiff handle. It does have just a little bit of whip flex. You can kind of see if you watch, or there's some pictures I've had from tournaments, you can see it. So it gives you a little bit more, I think, forgiveness. But if you're somebody that likes the real stiff handles, stronger, good swing speeds. The MR3 is going to give you, I think, that little bit of better sweet spot. But so far, as we're seeing here, you really can't go wrong with any of this new tech.
107 miles per hour.
Goodness.
107 miles per hour.
Holy moly. And I've been gaming this, and at times when I hit some of these balls, it still kind of shocks me and blows my mind.
112 miles per hour.
Holy moly. On a line to the parking lot. Yep. There's definitely a reason I've been gaming this. I'm just going to throw it out there.
109 miles per hour.
Please don't curve into that truck.
That truck was safe.
The truck in the second row was almost not safe. One more and we will wrap this thing up.
115 miles per hour.
Yep, we're done. All right, that's it. So, again, this review primarily for the 25 MR3. I will say for the speeds, feedback we got on this one, again, 25 and a half versus my gamer, 26 and a half. This is just what I have on hand right now. I have two 26 and a halves coming. This one still feels, it feels really, really good. Tons of forgiveness for how stiff of a handle it is. You can't go wrong, again, like I said, with any of the tech. So if you can find MR3, you've been wanting an MR1. If you were going for the stiff handle MR1, I think you'll be just fine going with a little bit stiffer one piece, even with the forgiveness, things like that. If you're somebody who really wants the ultra stiff kind of MR3, I wouldn't necessarily settle for a 43 handle or even 47 handle backwoods. I would go with trying to find one of these, or again, grab last year's model MR3. The only real difference I'm seeing is slightly less forgiveness, it seems like. When I say that, I mean very, very minor, but just a little bit less. And I do personally like the sound of the new tech a little bit better. And then we'll see when we see the compression piece there. But I'm guessing this one is right at, like I said, 250, 245. It's gonna be right there on the line. Not sure how far this one dropped, not a ton of swings. But if this one's sitting at, let's say 255, 260, this one's at 245, whatever, that makes kind of the sense for what we saw a little bit different in the speed piece. But again, can't go wrong with any of these. As of right now, if we're going to another conference event this weekend, I'm still sitting with my MR1, just because also a little bit of superstition still growing up with baseball and whatnot, but I have to get real comfortable about it before I like to game it. But this is definitely going to be one that I plan on trying to get real comfortable with. I actually plan to use this last year's MR3 as kind of my BP bat for now to get real comfortable with the one pieces to try to make kind of, like I said, that transition stiffen up a little bit, which I think will help not only with kind of my swing and whatnot, but as it gets a little bit hotter, I think having a little bit of that stiffer feel barrel will help the balls perform. But either way, another great product from Juno. All of them are good options. They do plan on, I got a chance, like I said, to talk to them. There should be drops roughly every week or two now. For people who have been wondering why they sell out so fast, Juno does do about 350 to 400 bats per drop, and that's purely a QC thing. It allows them to get the bats in, make sure the end loads are right, make sure all the tech is good, barrels are good, so you don't get kind of those bad batches, and that's why. So they do 350, 400 at a time. So again, I think last drop, Crucci was saying there was something like 10,000 people on the website. So real quick math though, if there's 10,000 people on there, there's only 350 bats. What is that, like 0.035% of people? So less than 1% of people are going to get one. I know that's kind of disappointing, but for me personally, I would rather have that than they put out 1,000 of these, everyone gets them, and 200 or so of them have problems. Now you got one anyways, but it blows up early, it's not passing compression, whatever it might be. So just kind of keep that in mind. I know it's still frustrating, I get it. I've been looking for more yellow MR1s because it's been my gamer. After this one fails, I've got one or two orange left that I kept from like last year, but even I'll be out of the yellow MR1s as well. So yeah, but again, great bats. Shout out to Juno for continuing to put out a good product. For me, Juno's axes are still kind of my top two, and then there's a lot of bats that are just right there. So averagedudeslowpitch.com has the rankings. If you look at the totals on the right, you might see it's alphabetical order too. So if there's ties, so let's say this is at a 25, axe at 25, and I don't know, a combat's 25. They're gonna be in alphabetical order. So don't take that order as like our 1 through 10. Everything that's in the 26 range, if they have a 26 total score, they're all right there, even kind of with one another. 25s are all even with one another, so on and so forth. And the drop off from a 26 to a 24 in our total score is gonna still be very, very close. They're just little things that kind of set them apart. If you ever have questions on that, what might fit your swing, reach out, I'll do my best to get back to you. But either way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more content.